All right, guys, what's up? What's up? If you're just catching this part, rewind, go back to the other ones, go back to part one, listen from part one to right now, because I feel like this is where we really cap it off. So go back and check out the last video so you can be fully caught up, so you fully understand what I'm talking about right now. So in the last video, I talked about how I got arrested. I didn't go to jail. I got put in handcuffs momentarily, but ultimately the police just had me get picked up by my parents, and so I had a couple charges against me that I was going to have to go to court for, but I didn't have to go to jail. None of that post in bond or bail or anything like that. So I'm home, and Christmas goes by. I'm still 1 foot in the world, still 1 foot in the church. And our youth group leader decides that he wants to have like a guys sleepover kind of night over at a friend's house out in the country. So we go, it's over New Year, so I think it was probably like December 30th through January 1st or 2nd when we ended up coming back. So again, I'm 17 at this time. I'm out my senior year in high school, but I'm on Christmas break right now. So we go to this house, and we're just doing manly stuff. We're throwing axes, we're fishing, we're wrestling, we're playing some video games, we're playing board games, we're doing all kinds of stuff, just having fun. And I was really enjoying myself, good, just clean fun. And still trying to understand what it looked like to have clean fun and be okay with that, and be settled in that, and be settled into the things that God wanted me to be settled in. And so he ends up scheduling a time on New Year's Day where we were going to go out into the Francis Marion Forest. Now, this is down in Charleston. And so we drove out to the forest, and we took some axes with us. And we ended up going to a spot, just in a random spot, and we started digging a hole. So we dug this big hole. I mean, not a wide hole, just a deep hole. And then we took these axes and we began to chop down a tree. So we chopped down this big pine tree, let it fall to the ground. We're feeling strong. We're feeling amazing. We're feeling like men. We're feeling good. We chopped down this tree. We got these axes. We're 17. We're on fire. So we're ready to roll. And so we get this tree on the ground, and we end up cutting the top third of it off. And at that point, we understand what's going on, right? So we get the rope out. We get these long nails out. And we end up getting these things out, taking the tree down, cutting the top third off, and starting to fashion a cross. So we make this gigantic cross. We get it all put together with the rope, and it's not erected yet. We just get it on the ground, and then we end up taking each one of us a nail. So I think there was probably like 6 of us out there. So each one of us got a nail, one of these big long nails, and our youth group leader said to us, he said, "Okay, guys, I want you to just take each one of these nails and just imagine all the things that you're struggling with, all the things that you hate about yourself, all the sins that you've committed. Just imagine that you're putting them inside of this nail. And just imagine that this nail is the nail that is nailing Jesus' hands to the cross. That these nails are the nails that are nailing Jesus' feet to the cross. And I want you to just really think about this in this moment, and then I want you to nail this into the cross, either into the hands or into the feet." And so I remember sitting there, and I remember just really taking it serious, And I ended up putting this nail in, and I began to hammer this nail in. And I remember thinking like, oh my gosh, like Jesus died on this cross so that he could take, and he faced this shame, right? This utter shame, being a sinless man, being God himself, being stripped naked and put on this cross. And he literally did that so that my sins, my shame, my struggles, my anxieties, my depressions, my angers, my frustrations, my feelings of doubt, my insecurities, he ended up taking those all and being nailed to the cross to put them upon himself. And those very nails that hung him there were the very nails that it ended up hanging him there to asphyxiate him in order that he would take his last breath and finally die. And all that kind of is going through my moment in one way or another, going through my mind in that moment in one way or another. And I remember for the first time fully grasping not just who Jesus was, not just that he did these things, that he really was God. I understood that, but I hadn't yet understood how that yet applied to me. And for the first time ever, I understood how Jesus' death applied to me and how he died straight up for the redemption of me. And that thing hit me like a ton of bricks. And I remember in that moment, I fully gave my life to Jesus. You know, that confession that I confessed in the pool when I felt dirty, and I confessed that thing. I said, God, if you clean me, I will serve you for the rest of my life. You know, that was amazing. And that was a seed in my pathway. But this moment here was the moment where the rubber met the road, where the nail met the cross through the hand of Christ, that really caused me to understand, now this is the purpose for which I can live my life day in and day out, and I can be led by this thing. So I did that. And guys, there's so much to share going forward. But what I really want to share is this. You know, for much of my life, I was trying to figure out my identity. That very question led me down so many roads and pathways of trying to discover that thing through various means. Whether it was through excessive drinking, whether it was through making fun of people, whether it was through playing excessive video games, whether it was through girls, whether it was through fighting, whether it was through drugs, any of these things. Ultimately, each pathway led me down to a different struggle. And I began to have depression. I began to have self-hatred. I began to have these different things. All of these things compiling to a place where I felt completely hopeless. My friends had left me. My inner thoughts were persecuting me continuously. And I didn't know which way to go. But God opened up a door for me to where I even believe that he's opening doors up for you. Even if you've been listening to this and you're like, man, that sounds like the door that's for me. I want to let you know that you may have a different story than me, but I want to tell you that even the things that you feel like you're relating to, those things are common to all of us, to where we are trying to find purpose in our lives. I want to tell you that Jesus, the same alleviation that he gave me to my shame, my sin, all of these things that I just talked about, because he died for me and he took those things upon himself, he'll do the same thing for you. And so you're feeling like maybe you lack purpose, maybe you lack identity. And those are like the core things at the baseline of all your depression and anxiety and all these different things. I'm going to tell you, it's time to surrender to a God who doesn't hate you, who isn't going to just persecute you with thoughts, but is going to free you, who's going to break the chains of anxiety, the pain of purposelessness off your life. And he's going to be the one who gives you something to truly live for and truly die for in your life. Now, man, that was 18 years ago, 18 years ago, roughly, that happened. And I want to say I'm 35 now, and God has continuously led me, and that feeling and that understanding of purpose that he gave to me in that time has never stopped. Now, there's moments where I've gone up and I've gone down, and there's been hard times, truly, truly hard times. But you notice, like, it's not the escape from hard times that I was searching for. I was already having hard times. What I was searching for was an escape from purposelessness, was an escape from a lack of an identity, was an escape from feeling unsafe, unsettled. And I want to tell you that through Jesus Christ, he set me free from that. He gave me purpose. He gave me peace. He set me free from the anxiety and depressions of life. I don't hate my life anymore. I haven't hated my life since I was 17 years old. And I want to tell you that God can do the same for you. He can pour out his faithfulness on your life. He can fill you with his Spirit. He can baptize you into his death to where he'll clean you, truly clean you from your past, where you're completely buried in his death, and he'll raise you again in new life, just as he was raised again on the third day. I want to tell you that Jesus is alive today, and there's no other way to the Father except through him. So would you just consider in your life that, man, the things that I've been going for, they haven't really worked out for me. I've tried these different things. Maybe you even tried other religions. You've tried New Age. You've tried these different things. But in the end, they still leave you with a lack of purpose. They still leave you with a lack of settledness. They still lead you with a lack of love. So would you just consider in this moment and in this video to turn your life to Jesus, to truly give your life to Jesus, to truly find your way in him? Would you just consider that? And guys, if you want to know, okay, how do I replicate this in my life? I'll make another video and we'll talk about that too. But God bless you guys. I hope you enjoyed this story, and I hope it was applicable to you. In Jesus' name, God bless you.